Hello, this is Sky. I don't know how you all are. I hope well. So, we're moving in a very fast pace towards our next evolutionary stage. And I thought it would be useful to clear up some of the belief systems that we have been holding, just to give a little bit of a summary to where we are at. We are moving towards being multidimensional beings, or actually we already are multidimensional beings. But so far we have been acting on the what we call the three-dimensional plane. And what we do is, with our beliefs, we nail down particular situations that then become our experienced reality. And so today I wanted to talk a little bit about DNA, because so far it is a generally held belief that our DNA determines who we are, what our bodies look like, what kind of illnesses we have or don't have, you know, pretty much everything about us. And what my star people have explained to me about DNA is that our DNA is much more complex than what we think it is, and it is not only physical. In fact, it is also multidimensional. So what they said was that all of the origin of all of us is from the divine, and anything else cannot be captured in closed systems. They said that it is a constant exchange of information and an interaction between systems in what could be called an open yet organized field. And they called it pockets of consciousness. So that means that nothing is static. They said everything in the universe is alive. And we have the tendency to put everything in a closed category and nail it down that way. And when we nail it down and we say it is like that, then that becomes our experienced reality, because we are all creators. And so lately there's been a lot of tampering with the genetic information or the genetic material, be it through certain illnesses or certain injections into people's bodies. And of course, there were particular beliefs, or are particular beliefs, that are attached to that. And it is important that we understand that our entire lives and our experience are based on, I would call it, stories. So there are storylines that we follow. And for example, if somebody, holds a particular belief about a situation, like say, my mom had cancer, so I'm also going to get cancer, then the more you hold that belief, the more likely it becomes that this will be your reality. And if we understand that nothing is fixed and nothing is static in the universe and everything is alive, then it becomes easier to step out of this framework And first of all, place yourself next to this framework and look at it. You know, maybe we're not ready to leave it altogether yet, but step outside of it and look at it rather than identify with it. So when we think that the state of somebody's body is, I don't know, influenced by a particular genetic, what do I say, situation, then if we put that into our closed categories and systems of beliefs that we hold, then we add to the likelihood of this becoming an experienced reality for the person. Because what we think, what we assume, what we put out is creating. It is creative, because we are creators. So it's adding to a situation what I believe about it. For example, if you have a belief that you are chronically ill, or let's say you are chronically ill and you think that, okay, my chronic illness is going to be with me to the end of my life. If you have that firm belief and you will not move away from it at all, then you have basically set down your state of being. You have made it firm. And all the while in the universe, nothing is static and everything is in movement. The same way that is true for these particular injections that I was referring to earlier, and what people believe about them, or let's say even know about them. While I am not saying that it really doesn't matter what you do, because it does matter. And of course, you cannot just chug a bottle of vodka and say, oh, my consciousness is going to alter my state, and I'm going to be fine. I can go and drive, It is important to not be stuck in particular belief systems, and know that there's always an amount of flexibility in them that depends very much of the consciousness of the person who holds the belief. So our genetic material does not determine who we are and what kind of illnesses we have, or whatever other states we find ourselves in, because there is a source in the universe that is much more powerful than that. But the human being always has the tendency to want to understand things in closed systems and nail them down and say, okay, this is like this and this is like this, and here I have my system of orientation. And what my star people explain to me is that this is not how the universe works, and this is part of our three-dimensional reality, which is a very limited version of all there is. They also told me, what I found very interesting, was that an information is not static either. Information is not just information, it's much more, they said, because It depends, the information depends on the energy of the sender and the energy or state of development of the receiver. So, I also have this tendency of, I want to get to the truth and I want to tell the truth. And sometimes this is this has to be held with care, so to speak. For example, when you tell somebody who has had a particular injection, oh my God, you were doomed. Because of this and that. While these things might not altogether be wrong, I mean, maybe our information is based on particular facts that we know to be facts, but since an information is not static, it very much matters how this is received by the receiver, because if this information puts the receiver in a state of fear, then we are already at a state where the reality, where the truth is clouded, because we do not need to be in fear. And fear is actually, how do they say? Fear is, there's such a nice, I can't remember what the saying is now. But anyway, fear is not guiding us towards truth, because the truth is that we are made of light, we come from light, and the darkness is temporary. So what my star people also told me is never stop at the darkness. Everything that stops at the darkness has stopped prematurely. Lead it back to its origin, which is the light. And I think, these things may be important now on our path to unity. To disconnect from things that we give absolute truth and that we thereby empower. Because if we put energy into particular situations or beliefs, then they densen, they become more static, and then they have a power over us rather than us having a power over them or over the situation. Yeah, I thought this was something that needed to be shared. I hope you enjoyed it and have a beautiful day. Bye.